Would you like to kick us off with a project introduction?
Oh yeah. So hey everybody that's here. It's Lastrum. I'm on the Last Life Studios account. We're live streaming on Twitter and my Twitch. This is for one of our studio projects, the In-World Builder. It's a DAO funded project from the Decentraland DAO. And we have some members of our team on here today to discuss pretty much anything. We came up with this hashtag world storming to sort of get more, I would say, focus on creations and creativity in the space, not just a general focus of a Twitter space, but a little more hyper focused in terms of building inside metaverses, the goods, the bads, the uglies, how it's going, where it should go, what can you do, the different spaces where we are in. So this is our first session, and we'd like to highlight our in-world builder project. It's going to be more focused on Decentraland, but always open to other topics and discussions of other building and metaverses. Again, how that is going for you. So this first session will be about our in-world builder. Again, a project funded by the Decentraland DAO. If you step back and ask, can you build inside Decentraland for Decentraland? The answer is no. So we are building a tool that will allow anyone to build inside their plot, their scene, inside the virtual space for their virtual space, without any coding, without any knowledge of programming or 3D modeling, anything like that. So we're about 2.5 months, 3 months into this project of a 6-month timeline, and we wanted to discuss this project, talk about the technicalities of it, what you can't do, show you a little demo where it's at, our first MVP of the product, and sort of where we're going with it. We are super stoked as a team because this should be super easy to build and super fun to build in Decentraland, and also cooperative and collaborative building, so you can build with other people. So that's kind of our intro.
Absolutely amazing. So, the builder for everyone. Let's introduce the team. We have quite a few of our team members here. Coding, we've got Lastrum, Dogman, Madamus. Do you want to talk just briefly about how the coding team is working together?
Yeah, sure. So I'm sort of the project lead, but we have many different teams and people supporting this project. I think over 12 people. And so it's a really fun effort to get different ideas and creators and sort of walks of life on a project. And so we have a coding team with myself, Dogman, and Madamus. And then we have all these other teams, art teams, 2D, and we'll get into those later. So the coding team is 3 people. We all have a Trello together. We have all kinds of different code that we're sharing and ideas that we're throwing up to our Trello board, which is a visual sort of representation of what we need to do, what we think we need to do, what we need to fix, all of the things pertaining to the code. And so this is super robust because not only are we developing inside Decentraland, which is in TypeScript, we're also developing in their newest SDK version, SDK 7. So think of Apple's iPhone softwares. You can no longer program in the old iPhone versions. You have to use the latest iPhone version. So that's what we are doing, and it's always on the cutting edge. So there's always new things and roadblocks and obstacles to overcome. So we are learning through that process as well, but also allowing people to build collaboratively in world. So this just isn't when you join a scene, it's localized for yourself. If I, Lastrum, am moving an object, everybody else connected to that scene will see that object move. But also take it a step further. If I give somebody the building rights or permissions to build on my scene, they can take that same object from me and move it themselves. And then everybody sees that movement as well. So there's a lot going on here with scene building, the latest, freshest code base, using servers and multiplayer frameworks. It's pretty robust, and we're trying to really build a huge package that makes it easy for people to just say, oh, click this, move this, click this, move this, make it common sense, which leads into some of our other teams that help with the common sense portion in terms of user experience, user interface, user design. So maybe we could highlight those individuals next.
Absolutely. So, shout out the UI team, Mies, Kirzaz, Rustan, and M. M, would you like to take the lead on talking about your
Yeah,
team?
yeah, absolutely. The UI team has been doing an absolutely incredible job working in hand with the coding team to make sure that not only is all this amazing functionality that we want to implement into this new builder capable of being, happening, but our UI team is trying to make it as user friendly as possible to make sure that, your mom, your dad, your grandma, your cousin, anybody that you want to explain this to can come in here, start building, not have any serious barriers to entry. Of course, Web3 has its own barriers to entry, but once you're in here, we would love to make it so that it is easy for everybody to build and really, really be able to display their artwork or however they want to build within Decentraland, whether it's business reasons or artwork or however, just DCL leads them. So Mies has been really hands-on with leading our UI team. He's more part of management, so he's been helping lead all these teams. But Mies helps with our weekly meetings to ensure that we're getting together and we're all on the same page. Rustan and Kurzaz have been helping as far as um, well, Rustan has a lot of UI experience, and maybe we can get him up here to talk as well. But he's been really helping with icons, and we're making sure that not only everybody can understand, it's universal. So, we've got language barriers across UIs and all that wonderful stuff. So we want to make sure that anybody anywhere is able to use this.
Beautiful. So, an intuitive, user friendly, keep it simple, stupid interface. Cannot wait. So, let's move on to the 3D team. We've got Kirzaz, Dr. Drip, Cyclopa, and Koshi. Drip, can we ask you or Koshi, or sorry, Cyclopa, to talk a little bit about the 3D team?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Um, we've kind of so we created a list of about 2,000 items. We all kind of jumped in on that, and we tried to brainstorm to the best of our ability, and with the help of AI, what some of these items could be in this in-world builder. There are some previously created packs of 3D items that are currently in the Decentraland builder, but we all kind of decided that there's a lot that's lacking and there's a lot that could be improved upon. And we all had a lot of really cool ideas that we wanted to see. Not only that, but we reached out to, the DCL community, the general community, to try and get more ideas so that if anyone had a particular idea of something that they wanted to see in this builder, that we could make it happen. So we had people, old guy in the community loves to his grill off and his grilling stuff. So he made a suggestion that we get some custom grills in there. So we've had a lot of fun trying to figure out what should be in the metaverse, but obviously, we don't know everything, so that's why these brainstorming sessions will be helpful, and also, anyone reaching out with other ideas that they have, and this particular aspect of it, we like the fact that there's so many different components that you could easily add to your build, using the current items, but the way that we see it is this in-world builder will open up a new way of building, and people will finally be able to create what's in their head without the knowledge or skill set required. So with that kind of evolution, people will be able to that they'll be wanting to do specific things, right? We have these trends of parties, we have these trends of DJ events, but in my opinion, there's going to be a lot more room for expansion with these activities, and that's where the 3D team gets to kind of be a little inventive and think, what's out there. Some of the things I came up with were like a beach club, a skate park, and then obviously a business venue and a convention area. So a lot of the items, we do one-offs too, but yeah, we really like to think of what is the core user going to be trying to achieve with this builder. And so that's kind of what the 3D team has done, and I'll let others speak about it, but it's been a really wild experience getting to, I guess, tap into the Web3 community the decentralized community and kind of open source and decentralize this process that we're going through. So yeah, it's been fun.
Love it. So it essentially a basic pack of of 3D assets for anyone to use, in addition to some really cool. Have to shout out Cyclopa, and I hope to hear from you. Um, I just pinned the 3D Asset Spotlight, which is a series we're doing on this channel. So if you are interested to see what really cool designs are coming out, please put notifications on for this account. We're we're sharing designs as we see them. And today's is the DCL Fishbowl. Great idea, so cute. Hello, Cyclopa. Are you able to talk a little bit about your brainstorming process on the designs?
Yeah, yeah. Basically, just go creating, and when the ideas pop in my head, then I make it on the spot. So I basically, yeah, that's basically how I work, and yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say.
Brilliant. I love it.
So
Have an idea?
I
Make it.
basically, yeah, that's basically how
Super
I
great. So
work.
3D team UI, let's see. We have to give flowers to the management team, Lastrom and Meese, the glue holding all teams together. Love you guys. And marketing is myself, Shelly Van, Dino, and M. And so, with that, I would like to just reiterate that this show, the stage is always open for questions, comments, ideas. We'll be here every other Friday. So, if you've got like, oh my gosh, I want mermaids in the metaverse, maybe, I'm not making any promises, but perhaps someone on the 3D team will create a low poly mermaid. That might be my request. So, don't hesitate. Grab that mic, put in your requests. This team is listening. If you've got other questions, please shout them out. I'd love to hear what people are dreaming about building. And now that you'll be able to, like, oh my gosh, let the ideas fly. That is what this space is for. World storming. Hello, One Existence. Welcome to the stage. Do you have a request, a comment?
I have a little of both. Um, some of you may or may not know I am a very, very uh, voiceful and opinionated on my experience in building in Decentraland. This is what could be my last ditch effort. I have high hopes for this. So I'm looking forward to, as soon as possible, checking it out. So I'm just curious if you have an official date when testing can be done, and if I can be involved, I would love it. Um, I know a couple of you have responded to me on that point earlier, but just reminding you. Um, Something I would love to see, something I'm trying to work on myself is, but if you guys are able to do it, even better, a kind of a storybook design where the scene revolves around writing objects, such as whether it's a book as a building. Um, I've kind of been playing around with an inkwell and have turned it into kind of it could be a pool with where the ink is coming down out through the cap into the pool, or I've thought about it being a stage area or something. Um, but a pen or pencil or even a quill skyscraper, those were the kind of ideas I had. You guys already taken, I believe, most of my other suggestions or hopes that I had for being created, such as, yes, the gnomes was one of mine. So I appreciate it and very excited and looking forward to this. Thank you.
It's Lasham again on the Last Light Studios account. So maybe it's a good time to sort of just dive into the demo. What do you think, Shelly, and show the MVP of what our team has been working with?
Oh, you don't need my permission. Let's go.
Okay. So we're gonna switch the stream over, and if you're watching, I think we're streaming live on Twitch and on Twitter from my desktop. So there's probably gonna always be an issue. Let me know if it's not working. But Mies and I are actually in my world right now, and Mies is currently building on my 2x2 parcel. So I just went straight in and kind of explained nothing, and I want to zoom out and let you know what's going on while you watch Mies build in real time on my scene. So what we're going to have is our own world server, which is set up. And when you join that world server, for the very first time, you're going to land in our lobby, which is under construction yet. And it's a 2x2. And it'll have all the information, tutorials of what this builder tool is. And that world realm is builderworld.dcl.eth. So that's where, like you join a normal world realm, that's where you'll go. From there, you as a person will have the option to click on this right icon up here in the top right. You'll get a menu which is currently under construction. We've gone for, I might be misspeaking here, Rustan, monochromatic or something of that nature in terms of color swatch. But we've done really, really good with the design of these. These are awesome. Rustan and M have created some awesome icons and logos, and I can get into all of that stuff. Even more of a process if we wanted, but I digress. So you join the world and you can explore. You can see everyone that has created at least one world. And these are free. If you own a DCL name, you can build for free. So you can explore and go to other people's worlds right here. What you will do initially is choose a name, and you will have to initialize a deployment. And so you will initialize a deployment that will push all of the in-world builder code to your world, whichever name you choose. Then, when you join that world, you have 3,000 parcels to build whatever you want to build with. Does it make sense so far, One Existence? I don't know if he's still on
Sorry,
stage.
I was just on the screen watching. Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, cool. So
I do have a question though.
Sure.
What about the triangle counts and the mesh counts and all that stuff? See, one of the issues with the new web builder, the SDK 7, is I know somewhere it kind of tells you where I've seen green check marks on things. I don't know what that whole list of stuff means, as opposed to the old SDK web builder where it had just the 4 items, and whether you were above it or below it was easy to tell.
Yeah, so
what are the try counts the same as in world, or are they higher, better?
Try counts are the same. So, to take a step back, what we're trying to do is make the builder better, make it easier to build. And so I'll just back up. You join your own world realm. And if you can think of this metaphor, I'm going to pull this tab over. And if you guys can see this on my screen, these are my scenes in the current web builder. So imagine all of these scenes, these little tiles, which are isolated experiences, are now side by side in the world. Does that make sense so far? So Mies is building on a 2x2 right here. I can come over here and I can choose to create a new scene, right here. And now you have a little panel that pops up, and I can go choose and walk around, and I can toggle the parcels to be selected in the scene. What you would normally do is go here, create a scene, start from scratch, use a template, and you can see how we're sort of following the flow, right? Web, and then you have to sort of like do 2x2 like this, right? And then you create the scene, and it's in an isolated experience. Ours is way more immersive. I just chose a 1x2 like this, but check this out. In our example, you can also do L shapes. you can do crazy shapes. So this could be a scene if I wanted, and I can save this scene, and you now see that I am able to build on this scene. And so getting to the point of your poly count is, now that we have our scene set up, we will have an information panel somewhere on the screen. We're working with our UI team to show you what those poly counts and limits are, because we want people to build within the fidelity of Decentraland. So if you saw that as you select parcels, it tells you how many parcels you can choose for that scene, what the poly count, tri count is for that scene. When you choose assets, there's an information icon, and you can click on that, and it actually tells you the poly count and the size of the asset. So when you do choose something, it will get totaled into your scene size, and there'll be a visual display telling you, oh shoot, I don't have any more poly counts. I don't have any more size limit. I'm at my 15 megabytes for my one parcel. Does that make sense? And so in this whole time of me creating a new scene, right? I imagine, again, I created one of these other experiences in the builder. It's isolated. If I go in this voxel template, I cannot go and view any of these other scenes, nor can anybody else. But from here, I can go and I can choose an asset. Let's choose this air vent again, and I've got it attached to me. Mies can see that on his screen multiplayer. I can put it in this scene, or I can run over here and I can put it on this scene if I wanted. And I can immediately start building on this scene. Mies can see that. He can see me building over here, but he doesn't have the rights to build over here, so he wouldn't be able to drop anything. So in the meantime, he's just building over here. I can drop this as well. We're working on our drop placements, and I can edit, I can duplicate, I can delete things, I can re-grab it again, I can move it over here. All of the items he's been placing as well, I can grab and edit. I can move this cactus over here if I want, and he sees all of these in real time. So while we were talking, he's over here building things, and I said, I probably don't want that there. And then I can come over here and I can delete it or move it or edit it. It's actually pretty awesome. So that's kind of a super quick and dirty tutorial of what we've got. Would love if anyone has any more questions, or our team wants to explain some things. We've really wanted to keep it simple.
And that's good. And if anybody's going to find something that you need to dumb down and explain better or break, it will probably be me.
Yeah, so we want to do testing with our team more in terms of scalability and functionality, stuff like that. But this is live. This is not local. Mies is building live. This is not pre-recorded. I could give you the link and you could join as well if you wanted to. You just wouldn't have any build permissions.
I'd love to still check it out if I'm able.
Yeah.
You don't understand the frustration I've gone through. I've had meetings with Decentraland as well. I've tried to make the simplest build possible, and it's still I have problems. It's either that, or I'm too stupid, or I'm not meant to build, or something. But it shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't, because I have somewhat of a grasp of what's going on. But I continually run into these stupid little things that prevent me from. I've spent hours on stuff that I've just had to give up because of it.
Yeah, that's
So I'm
unfortunate.
really ready for something, and I would understand. Yes, there's going to be some bugs here and there along the way, of course.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to walk you through it. I can DM you the link so you can join us if you'd like to try it, and play around. I don't know if anybody on the UI team or 3D team want to, or any other team, coding team, want to get into some of the icons and features and search functionality, or dive anything, any deeper into what we've got as a product. Because I can kind of ramble on forever.
No, I want to touch on the ease of use as well quickly, because I'm sorry, One Existence, but I really, really appreciate what you just said, because it really shouldn't be that hard. and it's easy to almost feel bad about yourself. Like you're not too stupid for this stuff, you know. Like you probably put together a sick MySpace back in the day, or you know, like there's stuff that you've done. You could make a Facebook page. Like making these things are not that hard with the right, you know, UX. And not to diss Decentraland, I love Decentraland, but that's something that needs to be improved. And I know they're working over there, and the cool thing about the grant system is it allows for teams like Last Slice to get up and work, you know, alongside them. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. It really shouldn't be that hard. But yeah, in terms of oh, I wanted to see, can you show us how easy it is to duplicate things, like to make an army of things? Because like yeah, that's my favorite feature. I love the mouse over effects. I like how we're utilizing numbers, like the additional numbers for the controls. Yeah, I just want to see a little bit of functionality there.
Giraffe army.
Yeah, let's do it. So, perfect. You know, the UI is really interesting with Decentraland. Quickly, Drip. I'm hovering over this object right now because I am in build mode. And so if I exit out of build mode over here with the construction and I go into the joystick, you'll notice that all of my parcel sort of boundaries go away. And it looks like we have a little bug here, obviously. But this, you shouldn't be able to grab these things, right? And it's just sort of like play mode. And so these hover icons will change, or they shouldn't show up, depending on what mode you're in. And so it's interesting, though, Decentraland counterintuitively puts these together. No clue why they do it like this. You've got a 1 on top, a 2 over there on the right. You've got E on the right, F on the left, but the keys on the keyboard are inverted. However they choose to place those is pretty whack. But I think we're again, diving into SDK 7, and they allow us to do custom hovers. So, you know, in this instance, we could possibly do our own hover where the E, delete, and duplicate are. We would have our own on-screen UI for all of the options that you could press instead of having this sort of random wheel of items. With that being said, we made it super easy where you just press a button and you can duplicate things. So I can just press 2 and duplicate it, 2, duplicate it, 2, duplicate it, and I'm hitting 2 to duplicate and F to drop. And you know, it's super easy. So I just created 4 new things right there. You could easily just duplicate it, drop it, and then you can edit it in position as well. So you don't always have to grab things. I can edit, and we're working on our indicator for our selected asset that you're editing. We've got some information up here of the current position of the asset. Excuse me. And you can, these will be clickable, so you can just type in the number where you want to move it, or our gizmo down here. I want to move it up in the air a little bit. I want to move it over this way. I want to go this way, depending on my north-south direction. I want to go forwards or backwards. And Misa's seeing all of this in real time. Again, if you've had any familiarity with the Builder HUD in Decentraland, from Carl Farvel and what Last Slice added on to and things like that, moving things in position, that should feel pretty familiar to you. You can change the magnification, the scale from position to rotation. If I want to rotate this by a few degrees, I can rotate this object as you see it up there around its y-axis. I'll go back into a little more bright mode so you can see. And then I can just save that asset, and it should save right there. Boom. And then I can come over here and I can duplicate this asset, drop it, and so forth.
So anybody that knows me knows I'm like a big fan of events. Imagine building events, a build off. Like, sorry, my mind is racing a little bit.
I love
it. Like, you know, bears versus giraffes. Let's go. Who can, you know, create the bigger army faster and
in
so,
real time.
Yeah,
that's right.
Awesome.
Yeah, Shelly, that is great. That's such a great idea because again, we have a lobby world, right? Each DCL name is 3,000 parcels. So we have our own lobby that everybody will, you know, you could either jump into or you could just URL link to your own world or somebody else's. But if you join the lobby world, we have 3,000 parcels around here. And so part of our roadmap, and we're working with our marketing team, is these build contests. We've set aside some funding, I believe, I don't want to misspeak, but I believe we have, for awards and prizes where we can do things like that. So, you might join the lobby and we might say you've got 10 minutes to build whatever. Go find a parcel and build it. And everybody will be able to build their little asset, and then in real time, and then when it's over, we can all walk through and literally rate them ourselves and see all of the creations next to each other.
Gosh, I love it so much, and it leaves so much possibility for the future of like specifically themed asset packs for individuals who win contests. There are like all sorts of varieties that players can earn or users can use to build in the future.
And yeah, also pointing out, like, this is a really amazing library of items. It's all going to be CCO assets, so people can use them freely however they want. But also, I mean, you guys better watch out if we do a competition, because I'll come in hot. I was holding back. I'm going to bring some custom assets. I'm going to upload my custom assets, because that's something that I also want to point out is there will be support for uploading your own GLBs, getting them in there. So it won't just be grabbing from what's in the Lego box and putting it together.
Yeah, Doc, that's a great point. I don't know if you want to continue, or it looks like somebody else has joined now. Koshi from our audio team is in here building with us. If you want to continue, we can go through and you can go through the catalog and talk about the custom assets we've created, the builder assets, maybe some of the styles and themes, or I can go through it, and then I was going to show the uploader as well.
Cool. Yeah, go ahead. You've got the list in front of you, and I got a bit of a sore throat today.
All right. I hope you feel better. Anybody just tuning in? We're sorry I'm not good at these spaces, but resetting the room or whatever, recapping. We're talking about our in-world builder project that's funded from the Decentraland DAO. We wanted no coding, real-time collaborative building inside Decentraland. Not using the SDK or some other software package you have to download and then upload your scene, or the builder tool that's only for SDK 6 and it's weird and you don't know what to do and it's terrible. This is actually inside Decentraland. This is inside the world, inside the platform. And my mantra the whole time of anything I've ever done is do it inside the virtual world. From the marketplace in Angzar, from voting, from experiences, live streams, giveaways, do things in the virtual space. So we're here in the virtual space. We're about to highlight some of our assets. We have a 3D team that I think has a mandate of 2,000 assets. Someone of you guys correct me if I'm wrong. In addition, is it 2,000? I think. Something like
Yep.
That. Okay, cool. So we're creating 2,000 custom assets on top of the 2,600 and change assets from the current builder. And so we've already uploaded all of the builder assets, plus the ones that we have currently available for render, and we have an asset catalog. This asset catalog, again, user experience, user design, talking about world building. The current builder has a horizontal catalog. That is just so, for me personally, that is just so bad. And I can only imagine other people is very bad as well. Our phones are vertical. Our phones are not horizontal. So we said, let's make our catalog vertical. That seems like a no-brainer. So our catalog is vertical. We have, as you can see, 400 pages, almost 500 pages of assets. We've created some searching around these assets because you cannot do that in the current builder iteration. We have, different types of assets. We're going to have more 3D, 2D assets. We're going to have code assets. We're going to have smart items. All kinds of different things to make your scene your scene. You can search by catalog and theme. It immediately updates. And again, some of these images are they're all on IPFS, so they might take a second to load. You can continue to search across all of the asset catalog. We can go back. We can even look at, this is something interesting we're working on, the letters. You can jump to the page where that is. And I don't think it's uploaded on my version yet. So you'll be able to click on the letter and it'll just take you to the page where all the B's start. You can actually search by anything. You could search air, vent. You can search all kinds of different things that come up. And we're working on making that more optimized for these assets. Again, searching all of the assets, whether they're public, private will be your assets, which we'll get to in a second. Anything that is a part of the catalog whether public or in yours, you should be able to find here. And, we can just paginate and go through and find some of these assets. And again, they're on IPFS, so some of the images might not load. They might take a second. Here's a bench. In the current builder, if you have an asset and you click and drag it, you have no idea the poly count, the size, who built it, anything, right? So we have an info button, and we're going to be building this out more. The bench, the catalog, the artist, maybe a description, some of the tags. If it's public, you can download it right here so that you can use offline. You can place it, obviously. I can place it if I want. Here's the little bench. And so really cool 3D assets. Again, the builder assets plus our amazing 3D team creating their own and uploading them. All of this information is in our DCL Discord, the DAO Discord, where you can find the list of all of the assets that our 3D team is going to make, and what the status is of those. And, we love suggestions. Getting to the point of, if you have an idea for an object, you can actually be able to upload your own. And so we have an uploader as well, which will take you to a page like this. This is an external page. And you can actually upload an asset, and it will be packaged with only your world. You can set asset privacy to be part of the public catalog, part of the private catalog just for you, hinting at a future ability for, trading, selling, buying, right? So we wanted to create the framework that allows a public catalog, a private catalog, sharing items, viewing all these items. So in addition, again, to our 2600, you'll be able to upload your own.
LFG. So you're saying my mermaid world can exist because I can bring in my own mermaids. No one can stop me.
And I think we're going to do a 50 megabyte limit per 3D model, because Decentraland, that is their limit. So we want to not us make people, but we want to promote good building practices as set forth by the Decentraland Foundation. So they say, hey, you can only have a certain amount of megabytes per scene. You can only have a certain file size per GLB. You can only have so many poly counts. So we want to embrace those limitations so that you can get really creative with optimization and functionality. So if you want to upload an entire building, you can totally do that if it's under 50 megabytes.
Will you be able to, I don't know if it's at all possible or somehow at least have somewhere somebody could go to optimize some of their objects that they want to? Because that's I'm trying to learn to build in Blender, but that's a big issue. Is I don't know how to totally optimize. I know about decimate, and when you export, there's the file compression and maybe some other things. And I have been to some websites that supposedly compress them, but they don't seem to do much for changing it.
I would say this is more for, I don't know the good term, I'm not a 3D modeler, but like post-rendering when the object is complete. I think there's a lot of different resources out there, unfortunately not maybe aggregated into something you would like in terms of ease of use of finding that information. But this is more for, here's the limitations that you can work in, upload whatever works here. There's a lot of people on this call and in Last Slice and 3D people in Decentraland that hopefully have better resources for that. I think it might be a little too outside the scope of this project to do some sort of optimization with 3D objects because they're supposed to already be created when you click on this asset uploader.
I'll also comment on that because you kind of did touch on the the major optimization points, which is your try count and then also your texture file size. So yeah, I think that this is something that I've actually wanted to pursue making a tutorial on. I got to stop saying I'm going to make tutorials because it takes me a while to get around to doing it. But yeah, in terms of decimating models, instead of just right clicking and hitting decimate, you could actually add a modifier, a decimate modifier, and then you have the ability to drag like a slider downward and just decimate a little bit or a little bit more or a lot. You have full control over that. So you could find like if someone wanted to take an asset from like ArtStation or Sketchfab or whatever, and they wanted to put it into this build, it's going to be way too big. It's way too big. It's got too many triangles. The textures are probably 4K, super high res. So yeah, part of it would be the decimation tool in the proper way, and then also like you mentioned, exporting your texture image files. You would want to reduce the size of them. They recommend 1024 by 1024 size. Sometimes I've heard them even going to 512 by 512, and I'm not exactly sure. I know that with wearables, it's different than actual build assets. So I would need to double check on that. But so also in terms of, so you reduce the dimensions of the image, and then also, yes, you compress it, which you can do in Photoshop while you're saving it. There's an option, it'll say quality 12. You slide that down a bit. You could get to maybe, on that, you could maybe do it to 8 before really noticing a difference, but it depends on what you're doing. If it's an emission, you might see a little bit of grain in there by doing that. So it kind of depends like what it is. But yeah, you definitely want to compress it. If you don't have Photoshop, you could use, I love using photop.com, which is a free version of Photoshop basically on a website. And then there's actually image compression tools. I believe Tiny PNG might be one. I would have to look up exactly what they are. You can Google them. And they work generally well. Sometimes you can't see a difference. Sometimes there's a box to hit lossy compression, which means you'll lose some quality and you'll really start crunching things. So if you don't really notice a difference, you could try enabling that or find a different website that'll let you crank that up higher. But those would be, the three things you got to do in order to get one of those super high assets down to something that's usable.
All great stuff. One existence, I just sent you a DM on Discord so I could copy and paste you the link so you could come and build with us and hang out. Just please don't share that link to anybody else yet, or don't go to any other world within the space, because we want to make sure that we have a really nice onboarding session for everybody. So we'll sneak peek you into our internal team testing here if you'd like. So just reply to my DM and send me your wallet address so I can give you build rights. Yeah, great stuff, Doc. I appreciate that. I think the last thing I wanted to say on the optimization is, as you can see, I was in the create scene mode, so I get a little panel that tells me what assets I can or cannot, what areas of the scene I can place, and you'll notice they turn red because they're already occupied. What Misa is doing, he's building around the optimization we haven't gotten to yet in our roadmap. Is if you put an object over the scene limits, we're gonna have a feature at the end of your building. One of these icons, if you want to export, there'll be an option to take this experience, what you're building, and deploy it to your own world, to your own scene in Decentraland, Genesis City. And before you do that, we'll have an optimization in terms of are all of these assets inside the bounding box of your scene. So we will do some scene checking to make sure that this is not hanging over the edge here.
Let me just chime in and say, for those not familiar, that is an incredibly valuable tool. some of our builds. I'll just share a smidgen of an anecdote from the Metaverse Music Festival. Our build was exceeding the bounding box, and we could not figure out where. We were joking with our builder, like every version of the file saved, he would renumber, and we're like, let's go, it's going to be 69. And he's like, oh God, please not. I do not need to make 69 versions of this. Oh, we reached 69 and then some, because that's how long it took to figure out what in the build was just peeking over. So thank you on behalf of all builders for that feature.
And I've got a quick anecdote for the placement feature. I know there are tools that you'd mentioned to when building an SDK, and in the past I haven't used those tools, and I have to say that um, for somebody that might not know or might be lazy like me and just don't want to connect the DCL edit or a placement tool to their SDK build to position things, you might think, oh, I'll just kind of place things around the scene and then go check it in world and then go adjust the placement in the code. And you think you could get away with it for a while. And I'm just thinking back to my game jam submission. I wasted so much time placing items. So having that functionality built into to not only just clicking and placing things, but also to be able to have that panel where you can just have the remote and having it tell you where your items are in the scene. That's going to be invaluable, and I think that a lot of programmers, a lot of the SDK users will finally be able to get things done using this without having to jump over to code. There's going to be a ton of situations where I'm not going to crack open a big old SDK file anymore because I'm just going to go and be able to do it quickly with this, and I'm really excited about that.
That's amazing. So, resetting the room just really quickly. Thank you for all for being here, and welcome to anybody just joining us. Last Room is streaming live to Twitter and Twitch. If you go up to the billboard at the top, you can find links to the Twitch channel and the live stream for visuals. This space is meant to be a brainstorming, or better, world storming. So all ideas, creative comments, any questions about the in-world builder tool that is being built by the Last Slice Collective, the stage is open. Everyone is welcome. I would love to hear just some pipe dream that doesn't need to be a pipe dream, like this is going to become a reality. You can build anything. What do you want to build?
I really, really, really want to do an art gallery for like car photos that Doc and I used to go take. I think that would be so fun to create like a space for car enthusiasts within the metaverse to share that common hobby. And I think there's probably a lot of us, whether they're classic or not, or whether JDM, KDM, wherever you're at. I think that it would be fun for all of us to have a space to do that, and other people as well. I'm sure that we all have hobbies that we could share within these spaces. I know we have a lot of photographers around here too.
Oh, I love that. One existence. I love your book with the ink moat and river idea, but go ahead. What else do you got?
Thank you. Okay, so just dawned on me. I would love to play a game of horseshoes. The nature trail has been spoken about many times. Just a nature preserve of some sort, and I would love to go fly a Cessna. Those are my
Why
latest.
what?
A Cessna, a small plane, personal
Small
plane.
plane. Okay.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I saw something crazy today, internal to the Decentraland team. Holy smokes! If I ever lost faith and had a glimmer of hope, this was it. Really amazing stuff. I'll just mention the person, Bensei. And if you've ever seen their work, you'll know how epic it is. And this is the most epic thing they have ever created in Decentraland. Insane. So, in the topic of all those stuff you guys were talking about, plus pushing world storming and building to a completely different frontier in Decentraland. Holy cow! I hope it comes out and is public. And wow, I wish I could say more.
And Bensei did the what are some of his works? I know he did the Infinity Engine, right?
It
Which
did
is
the Infinity
literally
Engine. Did you ever play that cowboy game with the Infinity Engine where you're like riding on the train, you got to shoot the thing?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, that one. If anybody attended the festival 2 years ago or a year ago, 2 years ago, half of the stages, but the Dead Mouse stage, which is insane. If anybody attended this year, the waterfall in the river. If anybody attended any of them, the portaloos, the porta potties, that were the music. If you've played the Portal game, the Rat Escape, Metadine's Rat Escape, they were part of that. I mean, unbelievably epic builds inside of virtual space and always pushing the limit of what we have as a tool set with the SDK and what you can accomplish. And that's sort of what we're looking at here is there's all this like ones and zeros in Decentraland, which is open source for us to use, but like what the heck can you build with it? And so we want to make the what the heck easier to do. And so One Existence, I think it might be a good transition. You cannot click on that little joystick icon, correct, on your screen? Because you don't have build rights.
Oh, I'm still trying to get in. I was getting error messages on Brave. And it was being recommended I use the client.
Okay. Are you pudding?
What's that?
Who's pudding? Somebody's live in here.
Not
I'm pudding.
Oh, okay. I was like, Existence, you're here. Try Chrome. Let me know. Again, no VPN. Try Chrome. Let me know.
Yeah, best name I ever bought.
Right. Should have been. Oh, but I don't know. Harley says pudding.
Pudding.
So,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, Lashram, I was just going to interject regarding the pudding name. Well done, Em. As a former recipe blogger, I cannot wait to have 3D immersive recipes. Like, let me get in my cookie dough, run around, make like snowballs out of it, throw them at the wall, but then they're cooked into cookies. Like, let's go with this is going to onboard so many new users. I cannot wait. But sorry, go ahead.
I just want to point out that hopefully we're going to, based on what you just said, hopefully we're going to be competing with Roblox and Fortnite now, because there's like really amazing tools for making games or making imaginative experiences where, you just made a cookie baking game that's very out there and imaginative. And it just reminded me of Roblox and Fortnite. And so I'm excited for us to finally be able to get those people to come over here where you're going to be able to build a game, you're going to be able to own it. So you don't need to take all your important IP and throw it into Roblox where they're going to take, a lot of the funds at the end. DCL will be able to shine in that way if things go right. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I can't wait for this product to be more immersive. We're going to have it where you can have smart items and animate things and click on things and do things and build your own little mini games inside of here. I think that's awesome. There's so much potential, and I hope we continue to showcase that potential and lower the barriers for creators to come into the space and make amazing things, because we see it in Fortnite and Roblox. So we want to make sure that Decentraland stays on par or exceeds the competition for world building. And so I think, Em, I messaged you in our marketing channel. If you want to DM me your wallet, I can give you access and you could start building on my land. So we'll do that right now.
Yes, please.
Yeah, we'll do that right now. Again, everything's in real time, multiplayer. So I'm going to go to this scene, this build. This is this build here. And I'm going to go to access. You can see Mies has access here. And let me add M, and you'll see I gave her permissions. She should see the same notification on their end, I believe. Hopefully. And
yep, all good.
They should now be able to click on the joystick icon and have access to all of the other icons and assets, which we haven't gone over yet. They're sort of there visually, maybe not hooked up functionally. So M and Mies now have access to build on my parcel, as I do as well.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Too easy. So, 2 questions for you, Lastrom. One, we're about 2-3 months in. When is this going to be, ready to go for everyone?
Great question. We had our grant support squad meeting a few days ago. It's holiday season, so we pegged the middle of January to allow people to have this link and start building out their world. We have a really nice MVP, minimum viable product, in front of you right now that we are internally testing. As you can see, some things work and don't, but it's a really nice package for us to test these edge cases right now. So we want to get some more of those edge cases out there, get a little more functionality in there, and then open it up for everybody else to start testing alongside of us so that we can continue to iterate and build and deliver on our version 1 roadmap. So middle of January.
Beautiful. So, second question. Lastrom, what are you building for you personally? Is it a slice of pizza, or do you have a hobby that you want to bring to life in this world?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. I actually just purchased an Uni pizza oven in real life to start making my own pizzas, and looking at an in real life pizza shop. So purchasing one of those. So I will be a pizza Iolo shortly. I will live up to the expectation of the last slice and being a pizza delivery boy, but actually delivering real life pizzas instead of virtual ones for the past 4 years. With that being said, I would love to have a pizza game, a pizza making game here where, I always forget the name of those games, but they're so addictive. You have you're in the grocery store or whatever, you got to go get the ingredients. You have 4 checkout lines, and you have to, or, 4 registers, and somebody asks for a burger, somebody asks for a chicken sandwich, and you got to go make sure the ingredients are there. And it's kind of one of those, I don't even know if it's an RPG, but it's one of those isomorphic games, almost like on a phone. So I would love to have that in Decentraland.
Oh, I can't wait to play that. One Existence, go ahead.
I was going to ask, will you be accepting crypto at your pizza location, and will you be able to order one inside of Decentraland?
Yes and yes, absolutely. I have a pretty big vision for a couple concepts. This first concept is not for the grander concept, but definitely working with another Last Slice member who has Web3 loyalty rewards. Essentially, I want to make it easy enough that people who understand Web3 can have rewards. If you understand rewards but not Web3, you'll still get it. So that's going to be my 2024 project personally. And so it would be great to have a virtual counterpart in Decentraland built with this tool, and potentially purchase a pizza there. And that might be a good segue just quickly. This is sort of like static content, 3D assets. We're talking about 2D assets. We also want to have other grant projects included. So, for instance, I'm looking at my other screen, Atlas Corp. They do analytics. VLM allows you to place things in your scene or have a sort of exterior management tool that you can manage your assets while you're not inside Decentraland. So we want to allow and expose your scene to these other types of functionalities that are built by the same DAO that we were built by, and integrate them so that I can say, oh, this is an analytic. I want to know how many times somebody comes over to this little machine. And when you click on edit, we're going to have a huge edit panel here that have all the attributes, like hook it up to analytics, hook it up to VLM, hook it up to this, hook it up to that. So we want a lot more integration across the board for what you can do in Decentraland besides just place 3D assets. So that might be integrating with Sandwich. They're supposedly building a multiplayer framework for anybody to easily have multiplayer games or back-end databases and leaderboards and things like that. So we want to integrate that and make it easy for you, as simple as clicking here, going to the asset catalog and choosing a smart item that's a leaderboard or something.
So plugins, if you will.
Yeah, plugins. Yep.
Love it. Drip, go ahead.
Yeah, speaking of plugins, I wanted to ask about a couple. And I'm first one is one that I know we've talked about. Second one is one that maybe we haven't. But first thing is, can you talk about if then technology and how that will be implemented? And the second one is animation tweening, maybe? Will there be easy ways to add animation tweening to make something spin in a circle, let's say?
Yeah. Great question. So the first one, yeah, yes and yes. If technology, if then this, right? If you do something, then do something. It's pretty much in programming. If you do this, you expect this. If you do this, you expect that. And so we want that functionality is it's slowly coming alive from the foundation in their non-web editor that's attached to the code base that you have to download. So imagine, if this then this, where I edit this asset here, and the big panel will show up, and it'll have however we come up with it to make it very easy to use, and say, when clicked, do this. So if I click this, maybe make this giraffe animate and play the animation. So that we have. If anybody's worked with smart items from the builder, the very limited ones, you could click a button and open a door. You can open the door and grab this. Things like that we are integrating into this technology, and we'll make it available to everybody. The second part is absolutely when you upload something, we're determining how we want to do this currently, but you can detect the animations when you upload a 3D model. So we're deciding whether we allow the user to manually say that this asset has animations or not. And then those will be exposed in the scene in the same info panel that says, play this animation on loop, on repeat. Maybe it doesn't have an animation in your second question, and I want to make this auto rotate so I can edit it, and I can add, a preset feature like keep rotating or move from this position over to this position, things like that. And I think, are you dropping stuff in here? I think I saw you have something.
Okay, so I dropped something, but I think it might be disappearing when I drop it. I don't know if I'm doing it right.
You might have to hold your. Oh my gosh! Yeah, so we got a couple of bugs. You might have to hold your mouse a little higher so that you're not dropping it into the ground, because then it might disappear.
That makes sense. Okay.
Point assistance. You've got your hand up.
Yeah, I'm restarting my computer. I'm still trying to get in. I don't know what's going on, but big question, because it's an issue from my understanding with the new SDK 7 as far as being able to have a screen and stream into your world is not possible. Will it be possible with your in-world builder, as well as connecting to NFTs in order to display them?
Yeah, great question. Yes to all of that. I think there are current smart items in the builder which are dumb items, not to be obtuse, but they're not very smart, and they don't even work sometimes. So it's kind of low-hanging fruit. You just make it work, and it works. So we're going to do that. We're going to have, easily from this asset list over here, if you want to grab something, it'll be an NFT. It'll be a video screen. It'll be a picture. And you can click it from this asset drop down, and it will be there. And you just put it in the scene like normal, and then you'll edit its properties. So if it's a video stream or a video panel, if it's a live stream, where's the video link? Is the volume, things like that. And again, hook it up to the if technology, where if you click this, then that happens. So yeah, definitely want to make that happen, and especially have layer 2 NFTs visible in your scene.
yeah, and that if-then technology is going to be very useful. Making things teleport, click this item and it takes you to Roomway, or anything like that. There's going to be a lot of uses for that I think will be very beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely. What do I have here? A billboard? This is cool. There's some like crazy assets that you just go through this catalog and look and see, and it's like, oh wow, that's awesome. And then you can get creative where, okay, you put this here, and then maybe you want to put a video playing in front of this, so that it looks like you have your own billboard, right? So, combining assets and making things happen like that. Mies, I think, was, you can see this is the normal scale for the escalators, and then when you get up here, he scaled it wider, make it a little more grand. It's all amazing stuff. And it looks like we've got a bug with she's collecting a bunch of assets. She looks like a Zamboni out there, just sucking up all of the 3D models. And
Wait, are they stuck on me?
yeah, on my end. Yeah, so again, this is an MVP. We're 2.5 months in. We've built a lot of the infrastructure and stuff, but there's definitely a couple bugs to work out, and that's why we want to have a later date for everybody to come join. So bear in mind, this is all new frontier stuff and a peek behind the veil of what we're working on. So there'll always be some issues.
And you got to look on the stream.
I just looked. I didn't know. I can't see them on my screen.
Yeah.
That's funny.
We definitely have to work on that. We'll see what that's about. But yeah, any other questions? I know we've been going for just over an hour. I didn't know, Shelly, how long you want to go. This can obviously be played back on Twitch, and we'll have the video to post elsewhere. Hopefully it's a great example of where we're at and hopefully what's to come. If you still have questions, it looks like we've got somebody else in here. Who's Wacko Warner? Is that you, Existence?
Yeah, it shouldn't be coming in. I shouldn't be coming in under that name. That's my different wallet. Damn it.
You're here.
I finally got in too.
Can you give me that wallet then?
Okay, yeah, I will now, because I was not fully loaded in. You guys could see me, but I was not fully loaded in. I will go ahead and give you that one then.
Okay, cool.
All right.
I think
I haven't used him in a while. I don't understand why he's there.
Interesting. Yeah, I think Shelly, just sort of to recap on the time, I think we give Existence a shot here live stream to build something. And then we can maybe call it. I'm sort of free. I would just go back to working on this. It's up to you guys.
Yeah, no rush here. I would like to just reiterate that the stage is open. If anybody has ideas they'd like to share, questions, comments, please hop up, where this is meant to be a brainstorming space. So yeah, no rush. But I'd like to reiterate that this will be free for name holders. So if you don't have a minted name in Decentraland, now is the time. Grab it. You unlock so much potential, and it's low barrier to entry. What is mana right now? 44 cents, I think. So for $44, you can build your own world.
Just a quick add-on to that, a reminder too that it was extended to ENS names. So if you have a .eth, you have one as well, but it is on a much smaller scale. And I'm inside. I have my first question. How do I rotate? Like look up, down? I can move left, right, go forward. But am I able to rotate like that?
Is your guy frozen maybe? You should be able, this is, a normal DCL world, so you should be able to have full camera control unless you've hit escape somehow and you don't have control of your mouse. You might have to click inside Decentraland to get...
I have my mouse.
Yeah.
Moving.
Maybe refresh, because I do want to point out that Decentraland has been having issues the past 24 hours. If anyone's having trouble logging in, if you're having trouble loading your wearables or loading your emote wheel, they're aware of it, and you could go check the Decentraland Discord. They're kind of talking about it. I think somebody also recommended there's a weird one with Wallet Connect too. So if anyone's having a trouble with Wallet Connect, go check that Discord, because some people have recommended some fixes.
Whoa, what is this thing?
Something with smart wearables too, because I have one that doesn't work, and they told me something about changing an emote and adding another wearable or something totally off the wall just to see if it would trigger it. It was
Yeah, we had some issues with smart wearables last month too, and it was kind of the same thing. You kind of got to spam a few different things, try on some things, remove some things, refresh a couple times, and sometimes it gets it to kick on. But they're working on that, so that's why I'd recommend if you're having trouble right now, just refresh and see if it fixes it.
Oh God. Oh God. I'm adding a bus. I have no idea where. Oh man.
I'm digging the water slide too. This whole build, we need to screenshot and do something
Yeah,
with the madness.
definitely. I'm gonna bring this scale down a little bit. So this way, this way.
Imagine everyone building at once. I don't know when the last time you guys jumped on a Minecraft server with a bunch of people and just built a mega castle or something.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. All right. That would be. I can't
okay.
wait for that.
Back to normal. I'm back to normal. Oh, and I'm gonna. I hope you're okay. You forgive me for this, Lostrom. I wanted to shout out TMSTW, the man who sold the world, which
Cool.
he has created a metaverse of his own. Just
Awesome.
so you know.
Yeah, welcome. I think you're here in the crowd. Okay, that's cool. Existence, you're in here, right? Are you back in world here? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you don't have build rights yet. So again, for demo purposes, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna choose this scene, and I'm gonna choose this 4 scene, and I'm gonna give you access, and I get the notification. You get the notification.
You were granted permissions for scene. Awesome.
Yeah, so we're working on truncating the ETH names, the ETH wallets to DCL names if you have one, etc. Just a quick note: this is only for DCL names. I know the Worlds works with ENS names, but since this is our own World server, we have customized it to only be for DCL names. We can look in the future about expanding to ENS. It's not that difficult, but again, we want to get a really nice product out there before we start adding all of these features. So, One Existence, go ahead and try to use the cube on the right is the catalog, and then you can either click on the image to drop it or click on the icon for information and click place. It'll then become attached to you, and F is drop.
All right. Let's see. Let me find something.
And you're the first non-team member to be working in here, so don't fuck it up. I'm just kidding.
I told you if anyone's gonna break it, it'll be me.
And
I did warn you.
Yeah, and I don't excuse my language. It's Friday. We're all here in creative mode. Nikki, welcome. Hi. It's 5 o'clock on the East Coast. Everybody should be having a drink, right? I guess. I don't know. No, but
Cheers.
yeah. Let's see if Existence.
Whoa! What happened?
Uh-oh.
I got trapped in something. Oh, somebody! You moved the tube on me.
Oh.
We need hard hats out here. No injuries.
Yeah, it looks like we found a bug when you join after while somebody still has something attached to them, that it doesn't disappear, because I don't have the tube on my screen. So Existence. Oh, look, he's moving the table around. Nice.
It's moving everywhere.
You're moving the table around.
I'm moving some airport thing.
Yeah. And then you can click F again to drop it. And then when you're not in grab mode, if you hit F, I believe, on the hover wheel, you can just do the edit panel and use the builder tool to edit the asset in place.
Okay, say that again. Because what happens when you drop it? Because it disappeared completely.
No, it should be there. I see it. You moved it right here.
You too? Yeah, I don't see it. There's that tube again.
You know what I would do? So one existence, we're in test mode in terms of the verticality. So if you move your mouse wheel up, that actually changes the vertical space, the vertical position of it. So if you want to put it on the ground, you have to use your mouse vertically to place it.
I just don't see it anymore. So
Okay.
there's that.
Well,
I
that's
see
all right.
everything else.
Okay, you can grab something else. I would add another asset. Nikki, we are live building multiplayer collaboratively, finding out some things we can go back to the drawing board on. But this was all built in real time with each other in here, messing around.
What's something cool new that you guys have in here? Anything yet?
Ooh, 3D
Do
team.
you have the fishbowl?
I'm not sure if we have it rendered yet because our 2D team does the rendering. What do we have in here? Let's see. We got a lot. There's a lot of really good builder assets, by the way, too.
Oh, here we go.
But we have a
Are
lot of
you-
animals. Sorry.
Should you be able to click on the alphabet letter in the asset catalog? Or
In a
not
different
yet?
version, yes, not yet.
Okay.
I actually don't have the latest version. So what's really nice is when we create or update things, like our IWB version, you can go to this version panel and you'll see what version of your world is versus the actual updated code. And there'll be an update button right here. And you can click on it to update your world, which version 6 actually has the alphabet letters clickable. So
I love these updated versions of the original as well.
there's a fire hydrant.
Because I know old guy had talked to the people from the foundation who were working on the web builder, and they had no plans of even updating the old stuff.
Yeah, no, they don't. Our 3D teams created some pretty sweet ones. They're on the call. I don't know. I have to go through the list and see. Do you guys mind if I share that list on the stream?
No, that's cool. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me drag it over. So here's our list. Oh, that's existing items. These are all of the items that are complete, rendered, and should be in the scene. So we've got arcade games and pinball machines, command center joysticks, some smoking accessories. What do we got here? Neon.
Yeah, I think you're reading a lot of black nodes. So we kind of started off with a bunch of random items, and I think what's currently been uploaded was the first batch.
Mhm.
So I know I came up a little bit late. A bunch of bicycles. We did the BMX bikes and the beach cruiser.
Cool.
And those ones are really cool. But yeah, I think we've only got like the first batch maybe.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
I just got so excited. I think this might have been one of mine. I have a cockatiel. That is so cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, so our process, we have our 3D team. They're awesome. They're creating assets. Then we have our 2D team, which takes the thumbnails, and then they let us know on the coding side, and we actually built a process that takes the 3D asset with the image and figures out the poly count, the bounding box count, and actually deploys it with our in-world builder. And so again, as we continually add new assets, those will be update versions. So when you go to the version tab, you'll see, updated, added 30 new assets. So you'll know, okay, I should initiate an update, which would be a redeploy, right? And then when you redeploy your world, our backend system goes through and says, get the latest and greatest code and all of the assets and deploy it to this person's world. So I haven't done that yet for this specific world, but I will. One existence, how is it for you in terms of building? Again, you're the first non-team member to get in here, and so we appreciate your patience and messing around with things. We hope that it seems easy. Our UI team has been a great help with how things should work. I think visually we can always fix again. If you're looking at my screen, this hover panel, it's kind of random and all over the place. We'll work on that. That's something DCL does automatically, so we have to manually create our own. But yeah, how's your experience? What do you think?
I'm excited. I still have to play around because I am having I have this cockatiel, but I can't seem to drop it.
Because okay, great question. That's actually perfect. So you're actually on a parcel that you don't have build rights to.
Oh.
So yep, you have to come back to a green parcel, and you should be able to drop it.
You still got that damn. I'm
know.
stuck in it now.
I know. I need to. I need to. It's a bug. I need to refresh so it'll get out of here.
Okay, and.
So you don't have build rights over there.
Okay. Oops.
I think I see you over here. You're on my other land. So this is what's cool is, if all is working properly, one existence, this guy right here, should not be able to drop this asset on this little zigzag parcel because I didn't give them permissions, and it looks like Puddin's trying to do it too. They can only come over here and drop assets. So while they're able to, hold assets to their player, they can't drop them outside of the scene bounds. And we did that on purpose because we wanted to, if you're on the edge or if you're building, you want to be able to walk on the outside of your scene and place an object, right? I want to be able to place a tree right here, but I don't want to have to be standing in the scene to do it. So I should be able to place it right here.
Oops.
Oh, is it not working? Okay, see, we have to fix that. But if you notice, if I grab this, I can't. I think if I drop it here, it deletes. See, I can't even drop. I'm hitting the F key and won't let me drop it because I'm not on my parcel. I can come over here. This is my parcel, and I can put it over here. So how cool is that? Remember, if you think of the traditional builder, you have this website, and each scene is containerized. I can't take assets from the office scene over to the new scene as was did was. I can't do that. So here, I can easily say, you know what? It's really cool, but I want it over on this scene. And I moved it.
Okay, so I'm playing with this little bike rack thing over here.
Okay.
And I hit one, but it seems to duplicate it. And then I hit one again, it deletes it.
I think one is delete.
Well, okay, the UI I'm getting when I hover over it is one grab, F edit, E delete, two duplicate.
Okay.
So I hit one, but it seems to duplicate.
Okay, can you move your head and see if it duplicates, or is it just is the original asset still there?
Yes. Even when I run away.
Oh, interesting. Because I now I see you have the bike rack attached to you, and you're moving around with it.
But the other one is not there.
No. The other one's not there.
I see two.
Okay, so move that one
and
somewhere.
I hit one and it goes away.
Yeah, move that one and drop it somewhere. Like put it anywhere in the scene and drop it.
I can't move the original one for some reason.
Oh, so when
I can't grab it at all. Every time I grab it, like I said, to me it makes a duplicate.
Interesting. So you don't have anything attached to you right now?
Yes, I have the bike rack attached to me right now.
Yeah, so go ahead and drop the bike rack and see if that one drops, and then see if the other one deletes.
Okay, see, it disappeared. I hit F to drop. It disappears for me, and I still see the bike rack over here.
Okay, yeah, I still see it attached to you. Okay.
I see the tube attached to you.
Yeah, I think that's a loading issue. This is interesting. This is a good edge case. I think because you loaded in while I had an asset selected, it's not removing them. So that's something to definitely look at.
I told you I'll break it. I will break it.
This is great. We need this. Typically we do this in private with our team, so we're just kind of messing around here. Let me try something. If
I've got a cool I've got a cool recommendation suggestion too. Is what if it was when it goes out of bounds, and maybe you guys already planned this, so maybe, but maybe it could be like the item turns translucent, or maybe translucent and red. If you could even colorize it, right, so they know it's out of bounds and can't be placed.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm thinking. I'll think out loud. If we do that, there will have to be a system sort of constantly checking the bounding box of the scene, plus the asset, and it could have a performance impact. So we can take a look at that for sure. Instead of doing it at the end, we can do it in real time. Yeah, I like that. It's interesting.
Unless you could do it using a trigger box so that it doesn't even check until you walk off of the green parcel. So if the green parcel is a trigger box and you walk out of it, then it does it. So it's not really like a real-time check.
Well, yeah, the trigger box is actually a system underneath, and it's constantly doing a AABB check. However, great idea, but when you have irregular parcels, your trigger area can only be squares or circles. So I don't know how we would do a trigger area for this shape of a parcel.
Gotcha.
Are you carrying a bus around?
No, somebody else is.
Oh, okay, because I see a bus moving around now. Okay.
That's me.
Maybe something changed? If somehow something changed.
No, I think M grabbed the bus.
That's me.
Another I think thing that would be nice is if I click on my IWB icon and I go to my build and I go to my settings. I think we should have an option to add parcels possibly, as well as remove parcels after you've created a scene. So, that's something our programming team has, like on our individual Trello board internally for that. I can, immediately remove access as well for these people so they could stop building. Again, info for the scene. These are just placeholders, but the size and the poly count will be incremented as you add or remove things in this sort of info panel. And we're thinking of having it, always on screen UI somewhere. This is cool.
This didn't happen. This didn't happen before when I clicked on something. I now have something that came up and says the file size, the poly count, place, or I could download it.
Oh yeah, so cool. One existence, what you can do. So the current builder does not allow for this. So when you're in the asset catalog, there's an icon that's an I for info, and instead of clicking the picture of the asset to place, you can click on the info icon, and it'll bring up an info panel, which will have more information. But either you can place it, if it's a public asset, you can download it, the catalog, the artist name, who created it, the size, the poly count, maybe if it has animations, all types of those things that you can get before using it. And then you can just click this go back arrow to go back to the catalog. The current builder, you can't do that. Once you click on an asset, it places in the scene, and then you have to figure out the poly count, then you have to figure out what it does or who it's from. And so we wanted visibility into these assets before you use them.
And that's awesome.
What else? I think we're good. An hour and a half. I think we're coming up on our time here. What do you guys think?
Oh, Em, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think we've covered a lot of really great points within this project, and I wanted to thank One Existence for coming in and demoing with us, because it was really cool to have like some real honest community feedback of somebody who's regular in DCL. So thank you for that one.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity. Believe me. Thank you very much for that.
What is this? Yeah, no, thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Yeah, we got some work to do, but we love it. It's coming along really nicely. And so this will be here. Please don't share that link I sent you, just because we want to isolate these experiences, these bugs, before we have a full team of public people inside the DAO messing around with this and finding even more edge cases. So we like to isolate them as much as we can first, and then have a nice polished product. So thank you so much for coming and joining, and we appreciate you not sharing that link.
I would not want to ruin it for anyone in the future, or ruin. I want this project on track as best as possible. So
Thank you.
I will not abuse it. Trust me.
No, I
I won't be
appreciate
here
it.
without you guys or anything. So
I think
Thank-
I'm kind of I fly by the seat of my pants or whatever, and I like I just thought of what if we in the next Friday. I think we do this every other Friday, so that would be the 15th. Why don't we? I don't know what you guys have planned, but maybe not for that Friday. But let's maybe have a private beta testing, so we can invite people leading up until that day, and then go live again with everybody on that day, and walk them through creating their own or initializing their own world and then building. What do you guys think? Last Slice
Yeah,
team.
that sounds great.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Okay.
And I'd like to take a moment just to reiterate that if anyone comes up with any ideas for any items that they do want as a CCO item in this metaverse builder, this is your chance. If you guys come up with an idea a month from now, I'd say it's not too late. Just feel free to comment it on any in-world builder post. There's not a wrong post. Just say, hey, I'd love to see an air fryer, and and we'll see if we could add it to the list. So thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much, Drip. And let's just say hello to Kirzaz, one of the 3D team members. Hello, how are you? And team lead, I believe.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, doing 3D over here, so let me know in the comments if you guys want anything, any like, what is it? Any assets you want part of our builder.
even better than the cockatiel. I'm hedgehog. Thank you. That was one of mine. That had to be one of mine.
Dude, awesome. I love hearing like the recommendations and then going through the process of making it, and then seeing them in world too, and just being able to use them actively with other users. It's like a part of the whole process here.
Super cool.
Love it all.
Kiers, I think we're going to shut it down soon.
I'm just kind of looking and see what you guys got in here so far. So that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, One Existence, if you had like 30 minutes, not even 10 minutes, 5 minutes, after this, I can, if you want to, I can walk you through setting up your own world so you can play with it if you like.
Certainly.
But you always have build rights on this parcel now, so you could always continue to come back here and build.
Awesome. Thank you.
Fantastic.
And I won't let anybody else in.
Lock it down. Well, thank you all so very much for being here. We appreciate you all. We appreciate ideas and the feedback. Again, shout out to the entire In-World Builder team. This is incredible. Incredible. 2.5, 3 months of work, and we're already this far in. It's going to be a game changer for Decentraland. So, Builder for Everyone is coming. We'll be back with another World Storming Space in 2 weeks. So every other Friday, you can expect to see us. So the next one is on the 15th. Keep an eye on this channel, the In-World Builder account. We'll be running giveaways in the future for your very own DCL name, which unlocks your world. So again, watch out for that. Drip, you mentioned something earlier. We need hard hat wearables. Yeah.
Oh, Salty has a hard hat wearable. Is Salty still in here? Salty was in here. They left.
Okay, so we've got the hard hat. Maybe we need an In-World Builder pair of like overalls.
There we go.
Just throwing it out there. But we need an In-World Builder wearable.
We'll brainstorm. We'll have another brainstorm session for an In-World Builder wearable.
I love it.
Emmett the Lego Man.
Thank you all again. Ooh, Lego Man.
Sorry, I had to say that.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you all again so much. Any last things we wanted to say before we close out? Any of the speakers?
Just a big fat thank you to everybody that came here, and we appreciate your support.
Yeah, thank you everyone for being here and continuing, to be present in this community. Sometimes things are a bit clunky, but we're all still here trying to build and trying to make a better tomorrow for the metaverse. So thank you all for showing up, showing out, and supporting each other. Thank you.
Yes, bullish on IWB. Thank you all again so much. We'll see you again on the 15th